Welcome to the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, where we bring you a weekly dose of powerlifting news, tips, and training advice with a touch of 80s rock ballads. This podcast is presented by Team Rohr Powerlifting, your source of the most comprehensive coaching and meet day preparation. Here are your hosts, Josh Rohr and Lara Sturm.
All right, welcome to episode 61 of Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Josh Rohr.
And I'm your other host, Lara Sturm.
Welcome. So we talked about a new meet added to the calendar in Birmingham, Alabama last week. We actually had two meets pop up on the Georgia calendar this week. So December 11th, we have the Georgia Holiday Havoc in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And then we also have the Georgia Ladies of Iron scheduled for April 30th of 2022, also in Lawrenceville, Georgia. So far, all the meets have been full in Georgia, but those two new ones popping up should give lifters an opportunity to get in.
And these are both in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Who's the meet director for these?
Kathy Mealy is the Georgia Holiday Havoc meet director, and Elizabeth Turner is running the Georgia Ladies of Iron.
Awesome. I feel like we should read them in like Sunday type of voice, like Georgia Holiday Havoc.
Sure.
No. December 11th, coming to you, Lawrenceville, Georgia. I mean, Lawrenceville just kind of ruins it because
that's all right.
It doesn't have that.
So I'm with you, but I wanted to act like I was not impressed by that just to see how far you would go to make it extra awkward. That's kind of what I do.
Georgia Ladies of Iron, April 30th, 2022, Lawrenceville. Yeah, there you go. Excitement.
You took the bait.
Fair.
You took the bait. I love it.
I did. I have to go bigger. All right. We have some questions that were submitted to us for Josh Rohr's question and answer session. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. If Josh Rohr had to shave his beard to make weight, would he do it?
This is a dumb question. Of course I would. Like, not that anybody cares, but I'd shave my whole body if I had to.
That would probably actually help you drop weight. Sorry. That image was a little much. Sorry.
Yeah. Good thing this is an audible podcast, not a visual.
Oh, big time. All right. Our next question is, my son is a brand new lifter. Why does he need to be in a weight class?
Well, I guess that's how powerlifting works. Everybody competes in a weight class, and you are compared against other lifters in that same weight class. So I guess if the question, and I don't know exactly what the question specifically is asking, but if it's just straight up, why does he need to be in a weight class? It's because that's the way competition works. If the question is, why does he need to cut weight to make a weight class? Then I would say he doesn't. And I would not suggest he do that.
Right. I would agree. I mean, especially if someone's asking for their son is probably a minor. So cutting weight for minors never is necessary, but they still need to say what weight class they're in just to compete. That's just
So if it's a brand new lifter, I would just, whatever you weigh right now, look at the weight classes and round up. So if you're in between two weight classes, whichever weight class is above you, that would be what I would register with.
There you go.
That's my opinion.
For what it's worth.
So do the opposite.
Always do what Joshua doesn't say. All right. So then we come on to the tournament voting, round 3. And I have to say, it's fixed.
It's fixed. How's it fixed?
Well, when I went into one of my other Instagram profiles to vote for the third time, the percentages weren't changing. Like I'd vote for myself, of course, and the percentage just never changed. I'm like, either someone's online right now with their other Finsta account, and voting for themselves, or it's fixed. Sorry.
I can tell you, I can go down the list of actual voters if you want to audit this.
I'm okay. I'm not that sore of a loser.
You sure?
All right, maybe I'm a little bit, but I mean, clearly my list was better, and I had 5 songs.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. We only had 2 people left with all 5 songs, and both of them lost. Yourself and I guess I shouldn't say that. We didn't tell the scores. Whatever. You lost.
Yeah, well, and then I was at the beach, and I was like, with friends and stuff, and I was looking at the voting, and I was just like, really, I just don't care that much. It's okay. But but it is funny when the music is so personal that when somebody was not voting for me, I just felt like, oh, they're so wrong. They're not right.
They have betrayed me.
They have betrayed me. This is like, and then I'm like, wait, music is so personal. I mean, somebody might actually, I guess, think that somebody else's list other than mine is better. So I'll move on. I'll get over it. And let's talk about the actual voting. How
well, at least you won a round. I have lost every single vote. Like I lost in the very first time on the previous tournament, and I lost the very first round of this tournament. Like I've never won once. I'm a loser.
Oh.
Yeah, but it happens. Anyway, the results. Number 1, Chris Elmore was against number 4, Cindi, and Chris lost to Cindi by a score of 31-23. So Cindi moves on to the championship round. And number 2, Lara versus number 3, Jim. Lara had 20, Jim had 33. So the championship round, Cindi against Jim, and the winner gets a bottle of BCA Extreme from Quest Athletics and Nutrition. That should be a good one. They've both had a lot of votes, so it should be an interesting. And it was kind of an even number of a lot of votes, so it'll be an interesting final round, I think. What are we going to do if there's a tie? I never thought about it. We don't have a tiebreaker.
We have to have a tiebreaker, a dance off.
Exactly. Submit your video. Yes, that's going to be the. Yep. That's.
Yeah.
Wow. Problem solved. I'm surprised.
I think we should rig it now to make sure that
it's going to be a tie.
It's going to be a tie.
Every tournament going forward, every round is going to be a tie.
Yes. So if you are voting and happen to notice that it's getting, all over to one side or the other, just make sure, dear listeners.
You know what's going to happen, though? It is going to be a tie, and people are going to think we rigged it just because we said that. That's my prediction.
Yes, that's okay.
That's okay.
I really want to see a dance off.
Yeah. Whoever wants it better, wants it more.
Wants it better? Better. That should be a. That's a T-shirt now.
I speak good.
Not really.
Oh,
all right, here's the powerlifting situation of the week.
Thank you. Get us back on track.
I gotta stop doing the Sunday voice announcer.
Once you start, it's hard to stop.
It is. It's hard to stop. All right, here's the situation. You train with an equipped lifter. Did I say equipped? Wow. All right. You train with an equipped lifter that's not very good at wrapping their own knees or anyone else's. They say they don't need to know how to wrap knees because, hey, my coach is always there to wrap my knees. That's what they say, even in training. Do you agree or disagree? Josh Rohr.
Well, I think this is something that kind of got me into trouble because I agreed for a while. I was like, as a coach, like I'll wrap your knees in training, and then we start getting more lifters. And then all of a sudden we have, basically need, 5-6 people that need wrapped, every set, even warm-ups. And I just got to a point, I'm like, wait a minute, this is stupid. People can learn how to wrap their own knees. And I think that's so I would disagree with this. I think everybody that's lifting equipped should at least be able to moderately wrap their knees decent. Like it doesn't have to be a great wrap. It doesn't have to be what you're going to wear, what you're going to do for a top set or even in competition, but situations happen. Like even at nationals, sometimes like I plan on wrapping everybody for warm-ups, but sometimes it gets chaotic and I got to run to another platform and you got to do a warm-up set. Well, you better be able to wrap your knee just in case wrap both knees, wrap your knees, just in case that comes up, because that's a very stupid reason for not being able to warm up on time is, you don't know how to wrap your own knees. So I think everybody that's an equipped lifter should practice wrapping knees and wrapping their own knees specifically, just in case.
I think that's a good point.
Yeah.
To a point, I would have, I did say before we talked, I could argue either way. So since you argued that way, I'm going to have to agree with you. Actually, I was going to try to disagree, and I'm like, no, I can't. Because there's always going to be some situation where, okay, so if you are doing it, if you're trying to train and you rely on someone to be there, well, what happens to the day that they can't be there?
Yeah.
And not everyone can actually, that person could have a family emergency, could be sick, they could have a flat tire. It could be a land shark. I don't know, anything. So it's just good to be able to at least be able to do it during training. At a meet, I think I'd get goobered up if I had to wrap my own knees, even for a warm-up set, because I have such a, I get in such a zone that, like, when things start to go awry, they start to amplify in my head as going awry. But you're right, even for a warm-up set, you should just be able to chill out and wrap your own knees. And if you don't know how to do that in training, you certainly can't do it at any meet.
Yeah. The other thing I thought of too, as you're talking about it, is, let's say we have 10 equipped lifters at nationals, right? And, it's spread out over different days, and I'm planning on wrapping everybody, right? Because that's what I do. What if I get sick? What if I can't go? We have 10 lifters there, 6 or 7 of them not lifting in that session, but none of them know how to wrap knees. So they're there, but they can't do it. They can't help you. Like, that just seems ridiculous to me. So I think there should always, I think everybody that lifts equipped should be able to wrap knees. That's kind of where I'm at now.
I'd agree. And I'm going to out myself and be like, I wrote this question about myself because I was one of those people. You can almost ask any other equipped lifter on our team who really sucks at wrapping knees, and they'd all point to me.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that, but I've had a few people send me a text like, hey, Lara wrapped me and my knee wrap fell off. Like, it was the worst wrap I ever had.
Yeah. So, my top 5 one-hit wonders list sucked apparently, and I can't wrap knees. So, wow.
It's all right.
We're already over it, but I do agree with you that I should learn how to wrap knees if I ever were to return to the sport in a real situation.
But here's the thing. That might have been the worst knee wrap that this person has ever gotten, but who else has been wrapping them? Me and like a couple other people that have been wrapping knees for years. I will say this. I've seen people wrap way worse than you do.
Oh,
So
well, that makes me feel so much better.
I wanted to say that this person said you're the worst knee wrap they ever had, just for the effect of it, but I don't think you're that bad.
They didn't actually reach out to you and text you and tell you that?
No, they did. No, that's true. I wasn't lying. I wasn't lying about that, but I'm just saying their experience of people wrapping their knees has been very limited. So they I don't think they really have experienced what a really bad wrap is. Yeah.
Well, when it falls off, that's pretty bad. That's bad.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry, Ben. I'm sorry, Chris Elmore. Shall we ever train again together when we need knees wrap? I'm gonna try to suck less. That's all I can do.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. So yeah, I'll have to get back to that. I've been out playing with wrapping my knees in training lately.
Yeah.
So there you go. I'll have to try it just to practice.
Yep. If you need extra practice, any pole or anything that's in a barn, if you got like a round pole, support pole, you can just practice wrapping that, even though it's vertical. It's good practice. I mean,
Okay.
you can always wrap your
Good
own
tip.
knee, but if you just get tired of wrapping your own knee for no reason,
Right.
try wrapping at all different angles, wrapping above your head. Like a,
Okay, now you're just being weird.
no, it's
I mean, I'm short, but really?
Well, I'm saying like, because in a meet, okay, I'm gonna make a very weak argument on why that makes sense, because it really doesn't. In a meet, if it's really crowded, you might have to wrap at different angles than you're used to. Like you don't have all the space in the world. All right. It's a stupid
Sure.
argument. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was
yeah,
just trying to
this
be
is true,
funny
though.
and it didn't work.
I do have a short story. I was at I don't remember which meet it was. It was probably Estonia. It was probably I think it was my first world championship where you couldn't attend, Josh Rohr, because you like were on your honeymoon, air quotes, honeymoon, whatever. Boy,
That would be a good powerlifting situation.
yeah.
Do you just got married? Do you go on your honeymoon or go coach at the world championships?
Yeah, or maybe that would be the wrong time to get married, just because you'll never be able to go to that event ever again. But that's.
But I digress.
I digress. So I was at some powerlifting meet, and Johnny Graham was wrapping me. And I'm like, Johnny, can you wrap me? He says, yes, I can wrap you. I'm like, okay, so here's how I like my knee wraps. I like it, starting down here, and I like it, going up and, crisscrossing, and make sure it goes up pretty high. And, about a 7 out of a 10 tightness scale for this first one. And, he listens really intently. And then he goes to wrap my knee and does it completely different than I said, but it was still a really good wrap. And I went out and squatted.
Awesome.
It worked.
Yeah, that's another thing with having the same person wrap you every single time. It's almost like you just get so I kind of treat it the same as lifting in the very same rack every single time. You get so used to your environment and external factors, like you look at the same spot on the wall, same ritual, same time, like you go on your own time, whatever. You got to have a disruption in that occasionally, because at a meet, if the normal person that wraps you is not there, you got to be able to have somebody else wrap you, and you can't always have it exactly the same, because two people are going to wrap a little bit different, even if they're trying to do the exact same thing you said. So, I think, that happening at Worlds for the first time is probably not the best place to do that. We should have probably, that's something I probably should have done, is wrap you differently a few times in training, just to get you used to not having what you're used to, I guess. But it worked out.
It worked out just fine, because
Yeah.
he slapped me pretty hard on the leg. He's like, just go get it. And I was like, oh, okay. But, and then like somebody says that to you in such a convincing way that you're like, okay, well, and I'm kind of scared of Johnny Graham. So if he
A lot of
says to go
people
do
are.
something, yeah, I mean, with good, probably good reason. Kidding, Johnny, mostly.
I'm not
still scared of
kidding.
you.
I'm terrified of him.
He's a drill sergeant. He did things. So yeah, he says to go do something, and it'll make you do it. I did it.
Go do it or don't come back.
Pretty much. Yeah. And it was a good wrap. It wasn't the same wrap, but it was a good wrap.
Yeah.
So shout out to Johnny. I miss Johnny. I miss meets, really.
I was gonna say Johnny's still around.
I know,
It's you that's
not.
It's you that's not around.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. It's the people that would get me back to the sport more than it would the actual lifting. There you go. And that says a lot about the sport, though.
I agree, though. It is. It's the people. I mean, yeah, it's the lifting too, but I think a lot of it. I mean, like going to nationals and some of those, like, yeah, I love going there for the lifting, but yeah, just as much or more is getting to see all the people. It's like it's a yearly family reunion kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I was in Daytona this last weekend, and I was thinking, oh, Daytona, it was just nationals, nationals. And I didn't go to that, and I kind of missed it.
Yeah.
So there you
Well,
go.
it's in Vegas next year, so
Vegas, baby.
yeah, maybe Lara will visit Vegas.
We'll see.
That's a probably not.
Well, nothing about Vegas actually appeals to me. other than seeing my powerlifting family. That would be the only thing. So we'll have to weigh that.
I like Vegas. I really like playing poker, so I love going there and playing poker. However, one thing about Vegas that was neat that I was not expecting to really enjoy was some of the shows. Like, you always hear about them, but like there's one show that I've seen multiple times, and there's like all kinds of different options, but I saw one that I just loved. I'm like, I'm going to see it again.
The one that says girls. that one.
How'd you know?
Sorry.
No, it's called Lawrenceville. Like, I'll tell you all about it. So it is, anybody going to Vegas next year, go see Lawrenceville. It's basically it's a circular theater, and the inside of the center of the theater is a pool, and it has like different like stages that come up out of the water, but they do all kinds of like acrobatics. Like, they'll climb up on, like, they'll be on rings, and the rings pull them way up in the air, and then they'll just let go and like tumble off of it into the water. There's all kinds of like things that pop up out of the water that are like props, and it's kind of like I'm not going to say too much, but there's a storyline, and it's all done, but like there's no talking. It's all just like really awesome music, like real intense like music. It's not show tune. It's like music you would lift to, like really good, good beat, like loud, and it just like tells the story with the vibe of the music and like what's happening with all of the acrobatics. I can't even explain it, but it is awesome. Like, I'm definitely going to go. I'll go see it a third time when I'm out there again.
So is it like Cirque du Soleil in water?
I think I've never seen that in person, so I don't really know what it is. Okay. But it's like super acrobatic. Like, so my only thought too, like as I'm watching this, is like I'm picking out the performers. I'm like assigning them weight classes. I'm like, you would be awesome at this. You would be awesome at that, because they're all like super jacked. Like, they're doing all kinds of like crazy things that just physically they're just incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would bet the strength and balance and coordination. It's like anytime I see, and I know this sounds crazy, like, but pole dancing. Not that I see a lot of pole dancing, but
pole
you see it randomly. Pole dancing.
Pole fitness. The sport of it is
pole fitness.
Pole fitness. Yeah.
I mean, pole fitness.
Pole dancing is what you see at those girls.
Even those girls are fit as hell if they're doing it right. Right. I mean, that is so friggin' strong to be able to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
They would be incredible lifters. The flexibility, the strength, and the coordination that has to be done for that. Crap.
I wonder if anybody's thought about recruiting at places. I mean, I've thought about it, but I don't.
Next time you go down to never mind.
Well, that's taking a left turn. Let's move on.
Yeah, that's just me today. It's a Monday. Not when y'all are listening to this, but while recording, sorry. All right, we're going to move on to the new lifter tip because we've digressed in a big way.
Yeah.
All right. Excuse me. In addition to the open, which is any age 14 and up, know what age division you'll be in and what it's based on. So youth is 8 to 13, and that's based on how old you are on meet day. Teen is 14 to 19, teen. And also all of these are how old you are on meet day. Junior being 20 to 23. Masters is a little bit different. Masters is 40 plus, and that is based on how old you are during the calendar year that the meet's happening in. And masters go by how old you will be on December 31st. Of every other division is based on your age and the day you compete, which is pretty crazy. Masters, we're special.
Yeah. I don't know. So my theory is that is because, and I'm getting to the point too, I can't remember how old I am. So it's easier to ballpark it and just know how old you are for the whole year instead of, did I have my birthday yet? How old did I turn? Yeah. So the reason we put this out is when you're signing up for a meet, it's important to know like what age division you're in. Cause a lot of people, so like when they sign up for, they might be 19 years old and they sign up for a meet in May, but but when they signed up, they were 19, but they turned 20 before the meet day itself. So they actually registered for the wrong age group, because on meet day, they're a junior. And the flip side is masters. So you could theoretically lift as a masters 1, being 40 to 49, when you're 39 years old, if you turn 40 later that year. So if the meet is, let's say, we'll stick with May, let's say the meet is in May, and during the actual day of lifting on May, you're only 39, but in July you turn 40, you're considered a masters lifter as of January 1 of that same year. So you would, even though you're 39, you're considered 40. So just clarifying that, because there's always a lot of questions on that, and thought that would be something to throw out for everybody just to understand how that works. And that's USA Powerlifting. So at the IPF level, everything is based on calendar year, like the Masters. But
Right.
Most people that have these questions are lifting in USA Powerlifting, because that's where you don't go to an IPF meet for your first meet. So
there's that. And right now, no one's going to an IPF meet. And so, not to put you on the spot, but how did it turn out with the national team lifters going to USVI?
Based on the nominations, they're listed as USVI. So not every lifter made it. I don't know what the criteria was, but there are I want to say for the Raw Worlds, there's, I think, 3 or 4 men and 3 or 4 women on the open team. The equipped team, there's a lot more, but it's kind of weird. I don't know how they picked who is going, because some of the lifters going don't have the highest total from our nationals. So I know one of the examples, like Noah Johnson and Greg Johnson, actually, Noah won and Greg got second, I think, but Noah is not listed for USVI, but Greg is. So I'm not sure. I don't know how they did that. I don't know if it's just know who you know or what it is, but at least some of the lifters are getting to lift.
Right. Well, good. I'm glad that they got to stay on the nominations.
Yeah. And it could be, I mean, I don't know the situation. It could be, I guess, maybe Noah declined, but it doesn't sound like that's the case to me, based on rumors I've been hearing. So I don't know. I don't really know the qualifying criteria that USVI put in place, but it sounds to me like it's just who you know, I guess.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yep.
So anyway, boy, that was just kind of a bummer note to end that on.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the powerlifting meets that are coming up in Georgia. Did we say Georgia Holiday Havoc, December 11th, Georgia Ladies of Iron, April 30th. Sign up now. I feel better.
I will say this about you. When you commit to something, you commit to it.
I am a little all or nothing. It's a blessing and a curse.
Yep.
Because right now I'm nothing. There you go.
All right. Well, on that note, don't forget to vote for the best 80s one-hit wonder list. The voting will be on Friday. This is the championship round, Cindi versus Jim Battenfield. You can vote on the Team Rohr Instagram and the PL Ballads podcast Instagram in the story on Friday. And don't forget to follow the podcast on Facebook and Instagram at PL Ballads Podcast. If you have any questions, comments, topics for our next countdown list, we are approaching that. We would love to have your input on what we should do next in terms of having the top lists. A couple of the ideas that we've thrown around was 80s movie soundtracks, and there's something else. There's another one I already forget. But those are some of the ideas floating around. If you guys have other ideas, definitely let us know. You can shoot us an email at plballadspodcast@gmail.com. We'll catch you guys next week. Later.
Bye now.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, please remember to subscribe and share it with your friends.